Okay, smile big, everybody. This is fun. We're already laughing. We have the wonderful Kimberly S. Reed. Welcome back to the Women's Day Conference here, March 8th, 2021. Chris, please tell us all about Kimberly.
We are so excited to have Kimberly. She is an author. She is a diversity, equality, and inclusion expert. Whew, that's a big mouthful, but super important. She is an international speaker, the founder of Reed Development, and just an all-around amazing woman. We're having a great time in the couple minutes before we went on air. But hi, Kimberly. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, how are you all? Happy International Women's Day. How are you all?
Yeah, we're good. And we've got tons of ladies listening and watching. So hi to them too. So great to have you.
Nice.
So we're going to start with that book. Hold that book up that you have for us.
Okay.
Kimberly's written a book, Optimists Always Win. Hit it.
So
Hold it.
I'm not in my office, right? And I have a cushy, nice office, but I like where I am right now sitting. So guess what I carry around? Bam!
I love it. Optimists always win. Smile.
And in Kimberly's case, optimists carry around poster-size promotions of their book. But fair enough, and I love the explanation, and I love that. And hey, you are being your authentic self. And this morning we talked to your friend Sophia Nelson, and we talked about authenticity. And 2 minutes ago, before we went on air, I had to share something authentic, and we're going to share it all right now to everybody. We're all looking super classy from the waist up. We got those Zoom outfits on. We're looking amazing. And I was like, let me just show you what's really happening below the belt. And you guys are going to do it too, because I've got this beautiful blue dress, but then I'm also wearing my plaid pajama pants. Hey, don't leave me hanging. Elizabeth has on slipper socks, and what do you have? Kimberly is in bare feet.
Woo!
So
high five the feet, Kimberly.
Thank you. We celebrate at all levels. We're talking about an optimist getting to the C-suite level, and we're here with our slippers, plaid pants, and bare feet, celebrating it all.
Hey, that's what we do, right? That's what we do. It's all good. All good. All good.
Yeah.
So front row seat to everything you do too. Oh my goodness, I love this.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for putting on this conference. I mean, you guys have different platforms that this is streaming from, and thousands of women. That is so cool. I mean, that is so cool. I've been listening this morning. I was listening to my girlfriend, my soror sorority sister from Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Sophia A. Nelson, and my, longtime girlfriend. And you've got a lineup of some bad mama jammas today. Woo!
Yeah, we are excited. And you are one of them. And so we're going to jump right in. And one thing we've been talking about at this conference for women is celebrating things we do. And sometimes as women, we tend to humble back. We tend to downplay. We tend to go, yeah. And not today. Today, we are stepping into that light. So Kimberly, tell us about a time in your life when you were proud of yourself. And let's hit it. You go, girl.
Well, I will tell you my proudest moment. I have a couple.
You can share more than one.
But I have to say the proudest moment is not because it's not promoting the book at all. But when 3 years ago, when I wrote the front, you write the dedication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Inside the book, you need a moment.
Ryan, yeah.
You know what we embrace?
And I wrote the dedication. I wrote Barbara E. Reed. That's my mom who died July 31st, 2012. And my maternal grandmother, Hattie V. Reed. My maternal grandmother, Mary J. Morris. And to all the amazing healthcare workers, nurses, and doctors that took care of all of those women, and my mother, my Shiro, when she was in the hospital for 45 days before she heard God's whisper to come with him. So that was my proudest moment, to be able to dedicate this book to all of them, and then answer God's call to me to give all of the book proceeds to 2 charities.
Yeah.
That was my proudest moment in my life.
That's beautiful. And thank you for taking that moment. And I know a lot of our ladies listening, I think it was breast cancer for your family, right?
My mom was leukemia.
Sorry.
No. And I heard you this morning, Chris, honey. I heard you this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to let, and I think, I tell this story often. So I know people who know me know it often. But we have to keep talking about it because we have to share with other women and other people, not just women, that we understand and we know that pain changes who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it changes who we are becoming. Right? And so we have to understand that and embrace that, because also we have to understand that we talked about gratitude, and gratitude is the rocket fuel to our resilience. So I'm grateful for having my mother, my grandmother. I know you're grateful for having your wonderful husband with you as long as you have. But that's why you are still here. And that's why you'll continue to walk boldly in the greatness that you are.
Oh, well, thank you.
I just absolutely, I love the way you express things. I think that might be I love the way you talk and say things. It's beautiful. It makes me think. I lost my dad in October of 2018, and I want to talk about grief. For some reason, what's coming up for me is like the talk about grief, because I know we have 3 people here right now who have lost people very important to them, and it wasn't until I met Chris in January of 2020 randomly in a group of 300,000 women where I began to kind of wake up out of grief. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but oh my goodness. Go ahead, take it from there, please.
No, Elizabeth, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. The reason I'm agreeing with you because it makes sense. Everyone has a rock bottom. Everyone. Everyone has a rock bottom. And pain is who we are, and it has a purpose as well. And we have to take every lesson and turn them into our blessings. Our future self deserves more. See, the good thing about life is this. Life changes when our faith in the future is stronger than our fear of the past.
Ooh, say that again. I really like that.
See, I'm learning. This is so cool. I gotta just sit back a little bit here with my socks on.
You brought this out of me. No, you brought this out of me, Miss Elizabeth. You brought this out of me. See, you and Chris, you see, because I wasn't even gonna go. See, we were gonna laugh and show our yoga pants. See, but because you know why? Because there's so many people that are hurting. And they're hurting, and there's so many people that feel like they have to kind of oppress their hurt because they have to be this superwoman. We're in International Women's Day because I used to be that woman, right? I had a cape, and I had a cape until I crashed and burned, and I hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom when my mother died, but I was hitting rock bottom because I was being everything to everyone, pleasing, trying to please, right? We know the story. We know the hymn book, right? Right. So what I said and what I'm saying, what I will say to all of you is life does change when our faith in the future is stronger than our fear of the past. Mm-hmm. And we as women, we always, most of the time, we delay our joy, right? And see, there's no greater deceivers than comfort and easy, right?
Yeah,
true. That's so true.
We like our zones of comfort. It's uncomfortable to be uncomfortable. It's the only word you can use to describe itself.
No question. And see, the other thing is too, when you're calling and what you do everybody, there's some people have a job, and you could tell the difference of those people. They have a job and they have a calling, right?
Yeah.
Because it's how they sow, right? right? So when your calling isn't basic, you don't go through basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, right. So when your calling isn't basic, you don't go through basic stuff. So we have to constantly do things and be around people. Sophia talked about the roads, right? But so you have to constantly do things, though, because everything starts with us, to do things that help you rise. There has been so much that I learned about myself, not only writing this book, but going through a global pandemic, my mother dying, and not in this order. And people may say, gosh, Kim sounds like a broken record. Will she ever stop talking about her evolution? Nope.
Celebrate.
I gotta give you glitter there. No imaginary glitter.
No, because I'm going to tell you, and you, Elizabeth, all the women that are listening, you keep talking about your evolution because that's your power. That is your superpower because there's power in your survival. You are here.
And you know what I love, Kimberly, about that is that your story, our story, my story, the women listening, your story changes and you get to change with it. And that's why you get to keep sharing it. Your story in 2020 isn't your story now. It might not be your story from last week. And so when you say you're going to keep sharing it, I don't get tired of hearing you. You could talk about it all day, Kimberly. You could tell me again and again. I am ready to hear what is Kimberly on March 8th, 2021. And I'll hear it on the 9th because it might be different.
That's right. And you know, one of the most important decisions that we will ever make is what one chooses to believe. Remember, Sophia talked this morning about value, your worth. We're talking in an ecosystem, right? Because life is what we go through, right? What we celebrate, what we believe. Our faith gets tested because 2020 for most was that year. But I think in the power of your rear view, which is one of the things I discuss in my book, because that was so powerful for me. Because 2020, people that crippled them, right? Like fear, it crippled them. But I want people to close their eyes for 1 second. I want you to think about the worst year of your life for a second, because I don't want you to dwell in the past. I just want you to think about it for 1 second. Get that year, 1968, 72, 1992, 2003, 2010, 2019, whatever that year is, get it. Now think about what it took for you to get up out of it. Perseverance, therapy, right? Grit, love, your sister circle, right? You, fortitude, crying, curl up in a ball, get back out of the ball, right?
Yeah.
Open your eyes.
For a while.
Open your eyes, right? Open your eyes. All of what you just said, because that year is gone. You got to use all of that 2.0 to get out of what you thought was the worst year of your life, and that's 2020. Because now we're in 2021.
Yeah.
It's the power of your rear view. That's just a peak of the power of your rear view. There's so much more that we can do to that. We just don't have time. But what I'm saying is that is what we have to remember, that we have overcome.
Yeah. So, you know, your book, all about the optimist and positivity and everything. What is your encouragement for these ladies? And you have gone through a personal journey with cancer yourself too, besides your family history and your losses. When you're feeling that super hard, super like things, you know, I'm living in this, everything's worst, everything's bad. What's your advice? How do you hold on to that optimism?
I will for me, everyone has a moment in time or a person that lifts them up or that they admire in their lives, or something they read, they listen to every morning. For me, it's all of those things. And I'll give you three things. One, my mother's 45-day journey before she transitioned was one of them. I watched this amazing woman every morning when I walked into her hospital room at 7 o'clock every day. for 45 days, sit at the window, because it was summer, so she sat at the window. She wanted to sit at the window every morning. Ask me as soon as I hit the door for her lip gloss, her Tiffany earrings, their little balls, her brush, right?
Yeah.
And for us to read the first verse that she wanted to read in her Bible. And the song, Mary J. Blige, Just Fine. That's why I come into that song when I do my keynotes.
Love it.
And because I watched her do that, and that meant that she still had, even in her darkest hours, she wanted to show up, look pretty, be ready for the day, whatever it had for her. And then one night I went into her room in the last 2 weeks of her life. And there were nurses everywhere in her room, on the couch, in her bed, laying on her bed, talking. She had her Bible. They were having caucus, talking about men, life, everything. In her darkest hours, she was pouring into other people. I want to be like that. I'll be mad mamma jamma.
That's what my dad did. That is so cool. Isn't that amazing?
So I want to be like that. So I want to show up. I want to, and what I do is I think about her. I read a lot of great affirmations. I watch great videos. You got to feed your soul, right? It's what you feed in your soul. It's who you have around you, right? It's remember that row? That's important. That is critical, right? Who do you have in your life? Who is feeding your soul, right? And then I would also say this, the third for me is and this is not in this order, is my faith. And that power of my rear view. I had cancer.
Yeah.
8 years. God said yes to me to continue to live on and do what I need to do and to keep walking in my great. God said, go ahead and be great, baby girl. And that's what I'm going to do.
And that's why I like to say that the Kimberly S. Reed, the S stands for super. And she's telling me she's got some other middle name, and I'm not listening to it.
Star, maybe even. I don't know, we can give her a star. The gold glitter, the gold stars.
Thank you. So for me, and so I would say to all of the listeners, all of these amazing women, you have to decide, because this book is a story and it is a journal and it is tips of what I did. But you have to, you can adopt some of the things that I talk about in the book, but you also have to adopt some things that's good for you. Adopt some good practices for you. Some people love to do yoga, right? Some people love to sit and talk with their girlfriends and have meditation and devotion every morning. But if that's going to keep your spirit joyful, but I will tell you one thing for sure. Too many toxic people close to your soul will be your demise. And if you are not kind or give what you require,
guess what?
Your life is going to stall.
And it's such amazing points. And it's so true. And we are all in that platform where we give and people are like, oh, you're so giving. And I always say, you don't know what I receive in that giving. But and if you are a giver, and women, we are givers, you know what I'm talking about. The hardest thing is to flip the mirror and be like, give to yourself, right? So I think that's really important too. That leads me into this, Kimberly. Can you tell us about a woman who inspires you?
I talked about it. Well, no. So there are a lot. There is the woman that reigns supreme is Barbara E. Reed. No question about that. That's my mama. She inspires me all day, every day. My grandmothers. I come from my aunts. Woo! I come from some strong women, right?
You're kidding.
Yeah, really?
Loving women. Loving women. We are huggers. I think it's also too. I'm an only child. Huggers. I'm an only child. I value relationships.
Yeah.
So my friends, my girlfriends, my sisters, inspire me. My dad inspires me. You know, people in my life inspire me every single day to take it to the max. That's women inspire me. Good people inspire me every single day to do what I do. And move it and shake it and move it.
Poster up again. You got to hold that poster up again. Look at
Yes,
that.
yes. Thank you so much for sharing all of that and who inspires you and everything. I have to circle us back to our conference. We have one final question I want to ask you. I know. I'm sorry our time is up, Kimberly, but we're filling our day with so many women and we need to
You guys
get
are
ready.
doing an awesome
Elizabeth's
job.
going to ask you our final question.
Oh, no, we don't have to go yet.
You're going to give me a lesson in how to read time because I just totally failed.
I know.
I apologize. Keep talking about how great you are, Kimberly. 8 more minutes.
Okay, Kimberly, you ready? You ready for this one? Okay. We're going to ask you. We have this thing called Your Incredible Yes. And it's a moment where you said yes to someone or something, and it changed your life. You might have many of them, but we're hoping that you share maybe one or two.
Okay, so you said
time Chris is allowed.
Okay, so look, just make sure I'm answering this correctly. So you said say what? Yes.
Your incredible yes. So
Okay.
it's a moment where you said yes to something or someone, and it changed your life.
Oh, wow. Woo! I said yes.
You might have one or two.
Things. And I can't wait to say yes to my prince who asked me to marry him one day. Whatever.
So it's coming.
Whoever that will be, we'll see. Let's see. You know what? When I said yes to me.
Yeah.
When I said yes to Kim, when I followed my dreams, when I followed my heart, when I followed me first, when I decided to get up on the inside and to do what it took to make my future self great so I can be great for everybody else.
Ooh, I got chills.
Yeah, that's a fantastic answer. And we talk about that all the time. You've heard people say you can't give from an empty cup. You've got to fill that cup.
Yeah.
The cup goes over when you're looking after yourself. And so when you said yes to you, I think that's a beautiful message for everybody watching and listening. Is saying yes to you is something we want to really champion and encourage you to do. Encourage you.
No question. I will tell you before we go, though, I do want to say this. I talk about the BR course, and that's Barbara Reed. And my mom taught me so much during her 45 days in the hospital, more than she knew. God knew exactly what to do because he taught me how to go through when I was diagnosed with cancer in October, right after she died. And my maternal grandmother died. And
that's a lot.
You know what? It was. But I didn't feel any of it. That's we got to have another
conversation. Yeah, sorry. So open that up.
Another session, some wine, another day, honey, after Lent. Yeah, child. But I will tell you, and that's why I am the way I am. Some people say it in a negative way, some people say it in a very positive way, that I'm extra. I own it. I own all my extra, all my sparkle. I own it all because I have every right to be as joyful. I have every right to have what it is that I deserve. I have every right to know my value. And my mom and dad from the foundation told me that I was beautiful when I had a Jerry curl, braces, and a gap in my mouth. Thank God for the dentist and my parents invested in my teeth. Oh, Lord.
You were combing your bangs when we first started talking, right?
But I had a Jerry curl like Michael Jackson because I wanted to be him. Another session, another day. But I will tell you this. On the BR course, Barbara Reed, I'm going to tell all the ladies this. Continue to be a warrior. Be rocket fuel to the communities that we all serve. Be a blessing.
Mhm.
Be courageous, but most of all, be faithful.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you, Kimberly. And what I love too in that message, what I heard was that you are unapologetically positive. And that unapologetically is
Optimistic. You got it. So can I tell everybody where the book charities are going?
Yes, please.
Oh, yes. So Optimists Always Win. The book is available on Amazon. It is a short read because there's going to be more, and but it's a great read. All the book royalties are going to charity, to cancer research and the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge. Hope Lodge Philadelphia had to close its doors because of the pandemic, but they're reopening this spring, and it houses families that have terminally ill loved ones or ones that are going through treatment for a long period of time and can't afford hotel or housing. So we're happy to be able to help that cause.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You guys
are awesome. You are awesome. You get your glitter. Here you go.
Yes, we always throw up imaginary glitter. We do imaginary because there's way less cleanup, and then you can throw it around anytime. You will see me in the grocery store throwing up glitter if something good happens. So Kimberly, extra glitter for you. Thank you so much for joining us today on Women's Day. We have loved talking to you.
I love talking to you all. Bye, guys. See you.